number one, that feels a lot better than the alternative. I was worried about this game because I thought Pacific came into the game playing pretty well. They've gotten off to a really good start in conference. I have a lot of respect for LP and kind of how he's built the program and what they've been able to do to this point. Gotten off to a really good start. And some of the matchups were concerning to me, and we really challenged the guys, over the course of our preparation this week to just dial in a little bit more, ask them to just care a little bit more in terms of valuing every possession. And I'm just proud of the group for kind of sticking with it, staying the course, and having the performance that we had tonight was nice to see.
I was going to ask, it's a little weird with Chip sitting right here, but is Chip still using a red shirt here, or how is that all working?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So, obviously, with Julian Rishwain going down, us being down the body, I'm very self-reflective as we kind of look at our team and look at our group. And I just felt that we were missing a little bit of physicality, up front. And Chips has not had a lot of experience, but the one thing I do know about him is he goes 150 miles an hour. He has an edge to him, and he's tough. And I thought that at this point of the year, we had some conversations back and forth and kind of threw the option and the idea out about bringing him on and kind of burning his red shirt. And to be quite truthful, I put it all on his plate. I did not push him one way or the other. Kind of gave him my pros and cons of what I thought it could mean for him both ways. And I kind of left him alone for about 48 hours. And sure enough, yesterday he came back to me and said that he thought that he wanted to play. So when I heard that, it was, now we're speed prepping, trying to get him up to speed with some of our things, tried to keep it super simple for him. But I'm so proud of him because it's easy to kind of lose your way when you haven't played a lot, over the course of 2 seasons, and he works. Basketball means something to him. And I was just proud of his fight. He changed, kind of our mentality with the minutes that he was in to get 9 points, 11 rebounds, and affect the game. I thought he guarded his position super well too, so that was nice to see, and now I just expect it every game now. That is the standard, and we'll keep working with them. But there's a huge upside with this guy for sure.
Chris, I'm not playing the investigative reporter, but I did talk to the young man a little bit. He said he made a decision today. You're saying it was yesterday?
Today, yesterday, every day at this point is running together for me. But yeah, no, he sent me a text actually last night, asked if we could visit again today. Came in at around 12 o'clock, and we sat and we talked and made the decision to throw him in. And obviously the results speak for themselves, but again, I'm just incredibly proud of him for approaching it the right way and affecting the game the way he did.
And he did say to me that, and understandably said, the locker room was a little less than a bullion, maybe, during this week. But he turned it around and made a statement tonight. Could you get this sense, from your perspective, that the team was in the right frame of mind, even though it had a rough stretch the past couple weeks?
I thought we had good energy, this week in practice. He can probably speak better than me. I'm not the most fun guy to be around when we're losing here or at home. So credit for them for kind of sticking with me through all this stuff. But I just kind of challenge them in the right way in terms of, it has to get to a point where enough with the words, actions need to come into play. And that's why, we had a couple possessions yesterday in practice when we were preparing to guard them. And I said, blew the whistle. I said, fellas, if we had this same intent and approach every possession, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in. And credit to them for kind of figuring it out. 18 to 23-year-olds sometimes can be hard-headed. But I love every guy in the locker room, and I'm incredibly proud of them. We've shown what we can do when we're dialed in.
not to say anything personally, but 58 to 63-year-old guys can be hard-headed too.
For sure. And so can 40-plus-year-olds. Yes.
Josh seemed like one of, despite the foul trouble, seemed like he was so much more in command of his game tonight. Is there more to it than just, slowing things down for him, or, what is it? Because he looked so composed.
No, I mean, I challenged every single guy, Josh included, to be a little self-reflective over, how we started this run. And Josh had a great point. He's like, Coach, I can't really say anything to the group till I start performing better. And he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and that's what he's capable of. He's a guy who can lead with his voice. He's played a lot of key minutes here. And it was good to just see him kind of play with that confidence, that swagger offensively. I don't think he missed a shot tonight, right? So that was good to see. 13 points, 6 rebounds, plus 23 in the minutes that he was in. And that's what we expect and we need out of Josh.
That's a bigger picture question for the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you heard LMU won at Gonzaga.
Yep.
Does that affect the mindset for you guys at all that, hey, it's possible, or is that, that's just one game somewhere else and it doesn't make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to continue to try to stay as short-sighted as we can as a group. It's like, all right, now what do we need to do tomorrow? We need to get ready to play BYU. But I mentioned it to the team before the game. I said, fellas, this is a reality. We decide what happens to our team. No one else does that. We've shown that we did not close a game out against Gonzaga, but for every intents and purpose, we probably should have won that game. We won at LMU on the road. They go into Gonzaga and win tonight. So I think this group is capable of beating anybody in the league when we're about the right stuff. And so to see these guys just play with a little more passion for the game and just a little bit better intent on both sides of the ball, that's what we're capable of. So again, I'm happy and I'm proud of them. They deserve it. They deserve the feeling of what it feels like to win. And now we need to kind of battle that and remember what that feels like and kind of what the approach is so we can continue going forward.
Coach, one constant theme has kind of been bringing that intensity to these games against teams who maybe you should be. Can you talk about how maybe the preparation changed and how you will execute today? Yeah,
I think the tone for that game was set in the first 9 minutes of the game. We didn't get off to a very good start offensively. It was kind of I don't want to call it a rock fight for the first 8 minutes, but we kind of just stayed the course. And over the course of the season, some of the games where we've struggled to score, it's affected our defense. And I thought tonight it didn't. We kind of had great purpose on the defensive side of the ball, and then sure enough, I don't know, right around the 10-minute mark of the first half, I felt like we finally settled down and kind of hit a rhythm offensively and started to play the right way. But it was all set kind of with our intensity and how we approach a game from a defensive standpoint.
Ndewedo, could you maybe talk a little bit about how your preparation is now going to shift, maybe anticipating a redshirt year and now jumping into playing this year?
I'm definitely going to try to take care of my body a lot more. Definitely going to see Casey, our trainer, before and after games. Eating right, have to eat right, stretching and whatnot, just, the basics.
I'll ask a dumb question. How did your nickname become Chip?
Freshman year, me and Zane Meeks, he was my first roommate. We went to like some Korean barbecue place, and they had they had fries, right? Okay. And obviously, like basically first day in San Francisco, I go there and ask for chips, and they just give me like what we call back home crisps. And Zane was like, "I'm gonna call you chips," and then they just stuck, pretty much.
There you go.
The rest is history.
Chips, how are you feeling out there tonight? Just tell us how it was on both ends.
Well, first play got stuffed at the rim. Second play traveled. Third play scored on. Obviously, I knew I had to, keep a tight screw on, and obviously got a layup. Also hit a three, and then start feeling good. And started working on the defensive side, stayed solid, played smart.
How do you think that helps your confidence moving forward?
Well, my coaches back home, they would say stay humble. Always have to be humble. I'm obviously very thankful for the opportunity, and I just want to keep working hard moving forward.
Any questions?
Coach, could you maybe talk a little about experimenting with different lineups today, maybe playing a little smaller with no real 5 man in there?
Yeah, some of that had to do with Pacific. You know, Keelan Boone is almost like a perimeter guy, and I think they play downsized a little bit, and so we matched a little bit to them. But we've tinkered with Josh a little bit, playing like some small ball 5 at times, and I think Chips and Josh were in together. It was actually a pretty good lineup, you know, when those two were in together. So some of it is matchup oriented, some of it is, you know, I thought we were in a pretty good flow offensively. So it was just nice to see the guys kind of just be free and play the right way.
Just for accuracy's sake, is it Chip or Chips?
Chips.
Chips. Fair enough.
All set?
Thanks.
Good job.